with establishing your brand, there's a kind of a two-pronged strategy here. The first is you want some people that you know will comment or like, that will engage with the post. And so my recommendation is, one of the reasons why we have the Slack group is so that we can all collaborate. Tag a few people, then go into Slack and say, hey guys, I just posted something. I tagged you. Please take a look, comment if you can, something along those lines. If you get 3 or 4 people to comment on your post, your views will go up times 10, roughly, from 2 or 3 comments.
So Avi, when you say tag the people, I need to put an @ and put in Avi Adler.
But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, as an example. And when you, in LinkedIn, when you start typing and you type @AVI, like it's going to suggest, you're going to see my name pop up and you just click on it.
And the tagging will be visible to everybody who reads my post?
The tagging will be visible, yes. It's that, and that's not a bad thing, because the other thing it does is, so as an example, when my network's not super huge, I've got about 1,600 people in my network. Arthur's got 20,000. So when you tag me, you're getting, in that first round, up to 150 people from my network that may or may not also be part of your network. But when you tag Arthur, it's probably not the 10% because he's got so many followers, but you're getting into over 1,000 people now. The way the algorithms work, it's not a perfect like 5th grade math problem, unfortunately, because it's harder to figure out. But one of the things I did when I first started, and actually Megan Sibilia helped me with it, was we got a bunch of people together one day and said, okay, on this particular day, we're all going to post about a similar subject. We picked a similar group of hashtags. We tagged each other. We all commented, and then we compared those posts to posts that we had done over the previous week. And I took the statistics from all of those that we could manually gather. How many hashtags they had, how many people they tagged, how many followers, the total combined followers for all the hashtags they used, and then how many comments and reactions they had, and how many followers they had after a certain period of time. And from that, that's how I can tell you, like, I can't rebuild LinkedIn's algorithm, but I can tell you these are the things that influence whether your posts get seen the most. We want to tag people in the group. We want to tag dream companies. And then you want to tag people from your network or people that you're following who are connected to your dream company.
And this should be for every post we make?
Every post you make. Yes.
Even if what we're posting on, if one of my dream companies is Honeywell.
Right.
Even if my post has nothing directly to do with Honeywell, I should still tag them?
Well, no. So we all have a list of, 20 to 25 dream companies at least. Since what we're doing is building our reputation and our image, there should be a couple companies on your list every day that, like, oh, if they saw this, they would think highly of me. They would think I was a good fit. So you're rotating, if that makes sense. You're not tagging Honeywell every single day.
And does this apply also for when we make comments on someone else's post, or just when we do our own posts?
Just when you do your own post. When you comment on someone else's post, you want to just further the conversation. And this goes for commenting on somebody from GCA, but also the next thing we're going to get into is commenting on posts with people from your dream company. So doing it with people from the Slack group, from GCA, this is what Arthur refers to as going to the gym. You're working out, you're getting in the habit. I'm not going to get upset if you said the wrong thing on one of my posts or whatever, right? It's not that big a deal. When you comment on a post from somebody at a dream company, what you really want is for them to respond and start a discussion, right? And so if you're commenting in such a way that you're furthering the discussion, that people start to engage, that raises your visibility with them. If you just like, hey, nice article, thanks for sharing. Okay, there's nothing particularly wrong with that. But again, it's like posting an article, posting a link to an article without saying anything. It does nothing to raise your brand, to reinforce your brand. Getting with your dream companies, right? Raising your visibility with your dream companies. You should be following your dream companies, all the companies on your list. And the example that I pulled is Allstate, which was not one of my dream companies, which was actually why I picked it, because I wanted to show you guys what the screen looks like when you come to a company that you're not following. So you search for Allstate, Honeywell, whatever. When you get to their page, to their business page, there's the little follow button. And you should click that. When we looked at Eileen's profile a few minutes ago, and I brought up all the companies that she's following, that's now public. So everybody at the company can see that you're following them. And this is a good thing because there are recruiters out there, a significant percentage, that when they go to fill a role, they will search LinkedIn and see who pops up. If too many people pop up, the next thing they do is go, okay, from this list, who's following my company? The people who are following the company are the first ones that they contact. So you want to be in that first list. So your dream companies, follow them. You can see how many employees right in the top right-hand corner. And if you click that, it will take you to them. You can filter by, is there anybody in my network? Is there anybody that's a second level connection? See how you can get connected with people at that company. The third thing is this over here, which I ignored for the first 4 weeks of my job search. And it was a mistake because these are going to be companies that are similar in some way, shape, or form. And again, LinkedIn doesn't necessarily know exactly how they're similar. What they know is that there's some industry connection and that people who look at Allstate also tend to look at State Farm, Liberty Mutual, Progressive, and so on. And so you want to look at those and decide, is this a company I should add to my list of dream companies? And if the answer is no, fine. If the answer is yes, then like follow them. Same rules apply. What you want to do here is find some employees at the company, preferably you want to go management level and higher, who are actively posting on LinkedIn. And this, I will admit, is time consuming. So Leslie, you said that Honeywell is one of your dream companies?
As an example, yes.
Okay. Is it one of your dream companies?
It happens to be, yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I'm going to go to Honeywell. And so they have several like subsidiaries.
First one.
First one? This one?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
All right. So again, I'm not following Honeywell, but if Honeywell were on my list, the first thing I would do is click follow. Now, the next thing is LinkedIn's going to try to get you connected. They're going to tell you, like, well, first of all, Honeywell has almost 2 million followers. So when you tag Honeywell in a post, when you write a post that is relevant to Honeywell, tag them. I'm going to follow. The next thing I'm going to do is this link right here where it says 13 people from your school work here. I'm a huge fan of right-clicking and open in a new tab so that I don't lose my place. So here are 11 people that are currently with the company that went to the same graduate school I did. What I would do is start looking at these people's profiles, and I don't see anybody that I recognize right off the bat. So we're going to go with Sonny. I'm going to click on him. He's Vice President of Strategic Sourcing at Honeywell Aerospace. And I can see right here, he's connected to one of my professors. who actually I know, and I know this professor very well. So what I'm going to do is click on his profile. I'm going to look and see, like, what does Sonny, how active is he? So he's got over 1,000 followers. We've got 2 connections in common. And now I'm going to look at his activity, and I'm going to see, this tells you the things that when you asked about like what hashtags people are following, this is one of those ways. This all activity shows you, okay, he liked this. It's not necessarily about Honeywell. So I don't know how he knows this person, but there's the hashtags that she used. And so that's one way to figure out, kind of tease out what hashtags are people following. The next thing I'm going to do is go to his posts. And, okay, there he is. 3 weeks ago, he shared a post from Boeing. It's obviously relevant to what he does. Like, he has a hashtag in there that Boeing also used. He's familiar with this project in some way, shape, or form. So what you're going to do in a situation like this is read the article and write a comment in such a way that you're starting a conversation or furthering the conversation. And this guy is a vice president at a major company with 1,000 people following him, and nobody has commented on it yet. Here, 2 weeks earlier, he posted this. Again, nobody's commented. So if you can write a comment where you're saying something intelligent about these posts, you're getting his attention. And you can do that before you ever send him a connection request. However, if I were like in this particular situation, I would connect with this guy, right? I would send him a connection request right away. And I wouldn't say, hey, I'm looking for a job, or I need opportunities. My message with the connection request would be, hey, I see you went to University of Tampa and that you're connected with Dr. Ginzarli. I took all of his classes in graduate school and, found them really interesting. I'd love to connect with you.
Right. Or in addition to that, you can read the post on the article and the comment that he did and reference that if you didn't go to school with him, but it's still somebody that you want to connect with. And that's probably going to flatter him because as of right now, no one has even commented on that post. So there's a lot of ways that you can network. At the end of the day, what is the purpose of all of this? It's networking. Networking today is no longer waiting to show up at some conference or a meeting and have really limited information about somebody. It's a new age, but if you're using old tools, you're not going to get the same results.
Well, and think about it this way. If you went to an in-person, like a happy hour networking thing, and you saw a guy across the room and you were like, hey, I saw that article you posted a couple of weeks ago. I found it really interesting because of this, this, and this. You have a much better opportunity of establishing a rapport, engaging in a longer than 30-second conversation with him than if you went up and went, hey, Sonny, I hear you're the vice president. Can you help me find a job? So this is how we engage and how we raise our visibility this is one way. The next thing you're going to do is come back to Honeywell's main page, and you're going to scroll down and you're going to see that they post things. And here again, right? Honeywell, 1.8 million followers. Here's something they posted 15 hours ago, 100 reactions and no comments.
Let me just make a point on this. This is very important. I was telling Avi today, I was on Zoom calls all day. And even with a lot of people that are on the Zoom and people in general, but people think that they're competing against so many other people. But what we're showing you and why, this works is because you're not going about doing the exact same thing. Yeah, if there's a post that Honeywell did and there's 100 likes and nobody commented, no HR person, no decision maker is gonna look through 100 likes.
That's not worth their time. The bulk of those people are already employees, guaranteed.
I just want to make sure that everybody's getting the most out of what we are sharing and talking about, because this is such a huge and powerful tool that 99% of most job seekers never tap into.
The absolute worst thing that you can do, in my opinion, is when somebody at one of these companies says, hey, my company's hiring, here's the link, and you'll see 20, 30 people that the only way they interact is to say interested. Those kind of posts, that kind of comment, again, you're not doing anything to raise your visibility with them, to raise your expertise, things like that. If you're gonna comment on something like that, what it should be is something that shows you know something about the company and about how they do business. So if you know, like, hey, I heard you guys are switching from Tableau to Microsoft or to Power BI, or, you know, I heard that you guys this, that, and the other thing. How is that going? Do you have somebody who's an expert in this? I found such and such. You're engaging. You're showing off your knowledge. Any questions about this?
Is posting specifically in like a group that you're in on LinkedIn different than posting to everyone, or would you follow the same rule of thumb that you just talked about?
So groups are kind of a special case. For the most part, the only people that can see that post are the people who are in that group. If it's a group that it makes sense for you to be a part of because that's, you know, your career, then yeah, absolutely post to the group. But if it's something that in general is building your area, like your authority, your image, your professional, like file, post in the group and then duplicate the post and post it on, you know, as a normal post.
So Avi, just to reconfirm my understanding. So you write a post and put in the hashtag, the job attraction system. So then it will only go to our group?
No. So hashtags are different. What groups are is, so if you go to the easiest way I can show you, you can search for groups, but if you go to the My Network tab on LinkedIn, you can see groups that LinkedIn will suggest connections, they will suggest events, and eventually, if you scroll down, they'll suggest actually hashtags and groups. And so here, groups you may be interested. As an example, I am a CCIM. At one time, I was a member. I don't maintain my membership in the organization, but if I were still working in real estate, even if it wasn't in sales, I would rejoin the Florida CCIM chapter and I would be posting in there because even though it's small, there's only 500 members, that's my target audience. When you get something more general like Tampa Bay Business Network or commercial real estate executives that are bigger, there's still nothing wrong with posting. These are sizable groups. It's your target market. Write the post in there. But if it's something that, hey, there might be people outside this group that I want to show off this expertise to, for what it's worth, most of my posts, I write them up in a Google Doc first so that I can get like my editing down and do the spell check and the grammar check, see how it looks, the whole 9 yards. And then I take that and copy and paste it. So I would have my Google Doc, and then once I get it done, which for me only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do that. And then when I click here, it's just paste, add my hashtags if I haven't done that already, figure out what people I'm tagging, and then off to the races.